What's going on, guys? Car coming at you with another Magic the Gathering video. In today's video, we're gonna be diving into a deck that I kind of went over in my budget list, which is Temur Elementals. This is the budget version. There's not really any rares. This is an aggro deck, so it's very aggressive. The point is just to attack your opponent's face, get a bunch of elementals out. It's a very tribal deck, so the elementals kind of synergize with each other. Like, there's certain benefits we get if we have certain elementals out, like getting more lands onto the battlefield, or just giving our elementals haste, even buffing them to give them additional power, which is definitely cool. The one other thing I should note is that I guess the update was supposed to go live on MTG Arena today, but after doing some research and whatnot, it looks like it's going live after I recorded this video. Like, it's technically going live on June 5th in the middle of the night. I'm not really sure as to why they didn't do it on June 3rd in the middle of the night into June 4th, but so the thing is, we may come across some decks that are technically have cards that are banned in it. Maybe not in the basis of the fact that we are playing more of a budget deck. We hopefully shouldn't come across any decks that are like super duper like full of like rares and stuff. I don't really know. Sometimes the algorithm for the pairing gives you like decks that are kind of about the same level of your deck. We'll find that out. If we do come across any deck that has some of these, either the 2 banned cards, we'll just scoop up and move on to the next game. There's no point in wasting, just because, I mean, after I record this video, everything will go official. So let's dive into the deck, see what's all about. Just in case you haven't seen that video, I'll leave a little card or something for the budget list that I have for some budget decks, but we'll dive into this deck. So, I mean, the deck is pretty straightforward. This deck is very new player friendly in the fact that you don't need a lot of wild cards other than uncommon and common ones, which aren't the worst to get, to be honest. A lot of these cards are cards that you may also have acquired through buying some packs and stuff like that, so some of the stuff is stuff you may have already have in your collection. So it depends on how far you're into your arena playthrough, whether or not you have some of these cards, but it's pretty straightforward on what this deck does. It plays a lot of small things. Our biggest creature is a 4-drop, so we do have a little bit of ramp, but the benefit is that a lot of stuff is cheap. We kind of get the board very wide very quickly on our opponent, and then we attack in our opponent once we get a couple things out. If we do enough damage very early, our opponent may not be able to do anything. We can kind of, just beat them down before they can really get going. So to start off, we play Scorch Spitter because he's a pretty solid 1-drop, because he's a 1 cost 1/1 with the ability that whenever he attacks, it deals an automatic 1 point of damage to your opponent's face, which is very, very good. He's an elemental lizard, so he triggers anything that procs with elementals, which is very solid. We got Shock for some spot removal because we don't really actually have any removal in the deck whatsoever, so just, a couple shocks in the deck, definitely solid to kind of, spot removal anything that's kind of small that may get in our way early game. Arable Grazer, another good card just for the fact that it's a 0/3 with reach, so it has a big body so that it can take, like, up someone else who's playing something aggressive, as well as reach, so we can kind of block anything that may try to come over us. Definitely good in that sense, and the ability that whenever we put them onto the battlefield, we can play a land card onto the battlefield into play tapped, which is also very solid for a little bit of ramp, just in case we want to get to a faster start. Healer of the Glade, another elemental 1/2. When he enters the battlefield, we gain 3 life. Pretty solid card, and regardless, this is because it's a 1/2. We gain 3 life, and late game, that 3 life could matter. So even if we play him early, gaining an additional 3 life is always a good thing. Lightning Stormkin, another solid 2-drop, 2/2 flyer haste, so we can attack immediately the turn we play him. Pretty cool flyer, that has an ability to just immediately attack, which is definitely awesome. I don't really think there's too many in the meta that you can attack immediately once you play certain flyers. I think there's a couple, but there's not many that are fit the elemental thing, and he's a wizard, so that's cool too as well. Creepin' Trailblazer is kind of like our elemental lord of the deck. He gives all our elementals +1/+0, and if we have some extra mana open, we can also tap him, and when we attack with him, and he gets +1/+1 until end of turn for each elemental we control. So if we're trying to finish out the game, we can definitely tap 4, pump him, and just swing in, maybe for lethal, or at least get some blocks on him, because he's going to get very big very, very quickly. Then we got the Cloudkin Seer, another solid elemental flying. It's a 2/1 flyer for 3. When he enters the battlefield, we get the draw card, so card advantage is always a good thing. We don't really have too many things that really draw cards into the deck, so having a card that just has an ability to draw an additional card as we play is definitely pretty cool. Risen Reef is a pretty solid 3-drop. It's another one of our ramp cards / draw cards. His thing is whenever we play himself or another elemental, we get to look at the top card of our library. If it's a land card, we may put it into the battlefield tapped. If we don't, we get to put that card if we don't put that card into our battlefield, it goes to our hand. So it's like you play an elemental or himself and you draw a card, and it's a land, stays on. We kind of ramp up with lands. If it's not, we get to draw the card and put it into our hand. Then we got the Chandra's Novice Pyromancer, another solid little planeswalker for the deck that has an elemental flair to it. We get +1 element. All our elementals we get +2/+0 on the turn. We can -1, get 2 mana. We can -2, and we can also do some spot removal if need be, if there's something in our way. Definitely a pretty solid planeswalker. We play 2 of them. Scampin' Scorcher, another solid elemental drop. This is kind of like, yet again, another thing where we're kind of finalizing out the game where we drop this, because not only are we playing 1 red 1/1 elemental, it also creates 2/1 red elemental tokens on the battlefield as well, and then gives all our elementals haste, so this can definitely attack the turn it comes in. If we're trying to get really, really wide on our opponent who may have a couple blockers, we get very wide. We may have, you know, a Trailblazer, may have a Chandra's Novice Pyromancer. We get wide, we swing in, our opponent can't do anything about it, and they get, well, hopefully hit for game. Then we got Parcel Beast, which is another interesting thing that came from Ikoria. It's an elemental beast that has a mutated ability of 2, which we can also put on our Trailblazer to make him a little bit bigger, so he just can't get immediately shocked down because it's not a very big body. Which also then has the ability that we can tap 1 and tap it. We can look at the top of our library. If it's only a card, we may put it onto the battlefield. If we don't put that card into the battlefield, we can put it into our hand. So it's yet again another 1 cost draw a card or ramp for 1. And it's a 2/4. So I mean, worst case scenario, we can always play it out for its full cost, but this is something we're probably going to try to target early game. We could always put on our Grazer, which will more than likely trigger our Risen Reef if we have that on the battlefield, and we just play a bunch of lands just because there's a lot of ramp in the deck. If we get a lot of lands out, we can play a lot of things. The deck did run Kahira, but with the companion change, I decided to take the Kahira out. I mean, I think even with the Kahira change, if you have the excess mana, you could always play Kahira in the deck still, but yet again, the new change, if you don't know, is that all companions are going to have a 3 cost to initially grab them from your sideboard, or at a play zone, I guess. I think it's your sideboard. And then you get to put it into your hand, and then you got to pay the mana cost of that card to then put it onto the battlefield. So, worst case scenario, you can still play the Kahira as a companion, because we're still within the the things of the deck to kind of still play it. So technically it's a 61 card deck if you play Kahira, but it's a little bit slower just because if Kahira can't come to the battlefield immediately. I'm just not playing it because the rule's not in effect, and I don't want to play for 3 and give you guys the idea that Kahira is going to come into the battlefield immediately, but once the rule goes into effect, we'll have to pay additional mana to actually bring it into our hand. So just figure I'd throw that out there, why you're looking at the little deck box and it's still showing Kahira. So then we got 5 islands, 6 mountains, 5 forests, some Swiftwater Cliffs, some Rugged Highlands, and some Thornwood Falls to round it out. A little bit of splash mana. I don't really seem that there's any mana issues, even if we draw a little bit heavy into our blue or green, which is not the worst thing. We have things to get our other color mana. If we go to the actual breakdown of the deck itself, we play 22 lands, 2 planeswalkers, 4 instants, and 32 creatures. So it's a very aggressive aggro deck, but like I said, even though we're playing only 22 lands, we have a very low curve. We do have to get to 4 for certain cards, but we can still do pretty well even if we don't get that high with mana, because our average curve is about 2.3. So if we get to like 3 or 4 mana, we're pretty good and are able to play a lot of things. Once you get a couple Risen Reefs on the battlefield, it's actually pretty crazy how quickly your hand will get and how much you'll ramp up. So worst case scenario, it may not look good initially, but once you get the Risen Reef out and get that effect going, we'll definitely ramp up very quickly. But let's dive into some games, see how the gameplay is like, and then go from there. All right, let's see what we got going on here. They're not playing a companion, so that's good. So that's a solid thing. But our hand's not very great because it's very slow. I'm gonna say because our opponent's gonna first, we may mulligan this, even though it's a solid keeper in the sense that we have things. We're on the draw. You know what? We'll keep it, but it's not very quick. So let's see what our opponent's doing and go from there. I mean, we have some spot removal. They mulliganed, so that's 6. All right. Some sort of life gain, I think. So we'll gain life. It's kind of unfortunate, like I said, we're on the play because they could drop like a Johnny here and then. Okay, that's fine. I'm gonna shock that now, just because if we don't take care of that card, it's gonna get out of hand pretty quickly. It gets +1/+1 for every flying creature they get, so I don't mind taking 1 point of damage, but the Sky Cat is not the best card to get, having us hit us in the face. I mean, but words. All right, so this is solid. We got our ramp going, so we can play this. They have counters? No, maybe. They may have their little wings thing to make all their creatures get +2/+2 and untapped, or they have that. That's fine. We're not really in any danger. We have Healer of the Glade, we have Scorch Spitter, so we have some things that we definitely can get some threats on the battlefield. So we're in still good position. I have a weird feeling that they're just going to attack him for 2. And they may, you know, flash in like that guy's ability. We did not get a land, so that's not good. So we'll play the Scorch Spitter. Take action. We'll play the Healer of the Glade. Gain 3 life. I think then we play the Trailblazer, I think is the good card here. We can't play, we don't have the right mana. Then we'll play this. I probably should have thought about the mana, how I was tapping it. Okay, another one. Sweet. We can't play anything. I'm kind of worried to attack. They have 2 cards in hand. I mean, we're ramped up pretty good. I think our hand's pretty solid even if this dies. So if they block, they block. But they're 23, they may not consider it, but they're going to draw a card. So if I draw another land, which is a green mana, I need one more green source. I could play this and I could play that all in the same turn. Which will be very good. That's actually be helpful. In the basis of it will be able to block a flyer, so it can chump a damage. All right, sweet. We'll play that, right? Yeah. I mean, if they counter it, but it's not the biggest of deals. But a little bit of ramp done. Take action. A lot of red mana. I guess all my red manas come together. I mean, I'll attack with everything because might as well. They may flash something in, they may draw a card, but I mean, might as well get all the damage in that we can before they try to do something. Okay, they can block. I think that's a waste on them. I guess they want to make sure they got damage in. It's not the biggest of deals. Still have something to do. I feel like they should have just waited it out. They're at 20-something health. They could have just waited, unless they have another one. They were at 20-something health. That's fine. I mean, we just won't ramp up as quickly is the only thing that will happen next turn. We gain a life. Let's do this. I mean, let's get wide, I guess, on them. And then we'll get more tokens. There's a possibility that I could see someone just scooping just because now it's like so much going on. But, you know, they're still up. So that's the thing. I'm not going to attack them with that because that's too good. I'm just going to attack with everything and leave the Risen Reef and the Trailblazer up. So they may have another rally here, which is not the worst. Alright, they bounce it. It's fine. I mean, they know it's coming next turn. So, I mean, they gotta do something. I mean, they're just gonna continue to attack. They must have another rally here. Which isn't terrible. They could have another one of those. Let's play it again because they know it's coming. Might as well see what they do here. I mean, every time they bounce an elemental, I gain. All right, sweet. We'll play another one. So if they bounce, they can't bounce them both. So that's the thing. They can't bounce them both. Yeah, we'll play that. I think if they don't do anything to this, it could be GG's. Good game.
I'm ready to fight.
And then we'll plus all our elementals and just swing in. It still goes through regardless. Alright, I mean, that's fine. I mean, unless they have something to block, yeah, that's all the damage to the face. And there goes game one. All right, we go first. I actually like this hand. I like the Lightning Stormkin being in there. I mean, granted, we have a come and play land tap, so we'll do that first. We don't have another blue or green source, so Parcel Beast is not an option currently. But we can definitely play Lightning Stormkin on turn 2. We'll play this since they go. We'll see what their deck is all about. Based on turn 1. I mean, if it's on a life gain deck, we have a shock, so we can spot removal something if it gets in our way, which is pretty solid. All right, taking damage. Nice. So they have a shock, I guess. Counter. Shocked. Draw a card. You can shock it. Do it now before I... Okay. You can do it now. Cycling. Interesting. So they have a cycle. Alright, well, I mean, worst case scenario, next... Okay. I like this hand. This hand's actually very good. We're very diverse in our mana. I think we'll keep. Our opponent is playing a companion, so that's unfortunate. So I feel like I should just give up just because they're still abusing the companion system. But I feel like we could be good here, regardless. I don't know. I mean, let me know what you guys think about the companions down below. I'm not really sure on how I feel, but they're going for the cycle here. They're definitely going for the cycle. I think we played the red mana. And then we play the Scorch Spitter. And then we say go. How many cards? They have 3 cyclers in the grave? Interesting. That's perfectly fine. Are they gonna gain a life? Yeah, they're gonna gain a life. Resolve. Resolve. Alright, let's just kill that. Don't need them gaining any more life. Might as well do some damage to them, you know? I think we play another blue source because we won't be able to play that. We're going for an attacks first. Do a damage. Play the Risen Reef. Get a card. That's cool. Next turn we could do stuff. Okay, another healer guy. That's fine. Interesting. I'm surprised they didn't play that. They could have fought one of our creatures. I'm all tapped out. They're really going in for this gaining all the life, to be honest, right now. I mean, it doesn't really matter, but, you know, we could always play the Cloudkin, making it have the mana open out in the air. But, I mean, I could also draw a card and could get something to take care of that. Parcel Beast is good. I'm not going to attack, because I'm not going to have my creature destroyed. Creepin' Trailblazer is good next turn. Man, they're really going in. I mean, they're going to do 8 damage with their thing. They have creatures in there. They have 2 creatures, I think, because I killed one creature. I mean, Loris could be decent for them. I mean, Chandra's actually good here because if they play Loris, we could technically just shock in. We could play Chandra and then -2 and actually shock their little Loris there. They're thinking about it. I guess they tap the wrong mana, or they let the auto tapper do the tapping. All right. I mean, I could always put the threat of Loris, so there's that. I think we do this. I think I have an idea. That's fine. I don't have enough mana to play both, which is, I think, fine. But I'll give my elementals +2/+0. It's perfectly fine. Put a land out on the battlefield. We'll go to combat. I'm just gonna attack for 3 in the air. We'll play these. Gain some life. All about the life gain. That's cool. I probably could have tapped differently because, or no, I needed the green mana. All right, they're really going in deep. I mean, they're 10 cards in, so they could hit me for a damage. 11 damage, gain 11 life. I feel like I'm very high up in life right now. That's fine. They should have, I feel like they should have taken something out, but that's on them, I guess. Let's see. They're only at 33, which is crazy. It's like a part of me wants to just +2/+0.
Gosh, look at all these friends.
I have 4 mana open. I have 3 mana. Shoot. Yeah, we'll do that. They could have another one. Yes, they're all doing damage to you. And then we'll do this. And we'll put that there. We'll put this over. And then we'll do this. So mutate doesn't trigger the effect. So we'll get some bigger bodies on the battlefield. Wait, does that not? Oh, because it's itself. It's fine. They have it? I mean, they have 13 cards. They have a Loris. 12. They have another one? They're at 3. Okay. Alright, I did not see that coming. That's a new one. That is a new. Okay. I like that, though. Keep the 7. This actually seems pretty solid, to be honest. I mean, it's not the best, but it seems solid. I think we'll play the red mana first turn, just in case. We'll see what they're playing. Oh, they mulligan twice. So they gotta get rid of 2 right now. But they're on the draw. Not playing a companion. So the only thing I can think of is either it's a deck that has companions in it, or it's just some other deck. I don't really know. It's tough to say. Yes, it's a red mana, but the Godzilla's on it. White mana, got it. Bird, got it. Should I kill the bird is the question. I think we should. I don't like your bird. Because it's gonna gain your life to probably bump up whatever it is that you want to play. Yes, that's a nice creeping trailblazer. It's proto. Alright, so it's probably, yeah, that's what I thought. It's a 1/1. Interesting. I mean, they're not gonna block because that's their like bread and butter card. We'll play this because this is now a 3/1. Draw a card, which is awesome. I mean, they could bounce this, which I don't mind drawing another card. They play another one, that's perfectly fine. Alright, they're really going in. They could attack. They're not going to attack. Awesome. Part of me wants to play another Trailblazer, but I think the best thing I could do here is play this, just because this is also a 3/3. No attacks. They're also low on mana, so it's like we just gotta kind of we just kind of keep pace with going wide. They could attack in, for all I know. +2/+2. I mean, I'll probably just take it. They're probably considering that. They're considering if they're gonna ride the wings or not. All right, they're not. Okay. The Trailblazer. Counterspell? Another Trailblazer. Yes, there's 3 of them. I mean, you could bounce it. I'm not gonna attack though. I mean, you can go ahead and bounce your card because I mean you're looking at it, or you can draw a card, or gain a token. Interesting. I feel like that does not help them. I mean, if they go all out, that's the thing. If they go all out here, I mean, I could also Chandra here and shock something. They have 3 mana open though, so it could be. Man, tough. I'm 1 mana short. I'm really curious what they have because they can react to whatever this is. It's probably a counter spell. Or it's a rally. The real question is, what do I do here? By +2/+2 and swing +2/+0, add 2 mana, which doesn't do me anything, or 2 damage to something. I think I 2 damage and pick up their healer. Which then minuses these guys, which makes them a little bit lower. Alright, that's perfectly fine.
Hold on. I'm gonna try.
No attacks. I mean, if they go for Chandra here, that's not the biggest of deals. The problem is I think they don't want to attack in with their Sky Cats. I'm really curious if I sacrifice Chandra, if they decide to go in for Chandra, of course they don't. I mean, I can start picking off their stuff though. I probably would just get rid of their sailor because this is going to become bigger anyway. So make them waste their mana to then play that, because then it's like, do you draw a card or you play a token? I would have drawn a card because they're only at 1 card. I mean, that means they have to top deck threat every time, but that's fine.
I sure hope you can't handle the heat.
No attacks. I mean, we got Parcel Beast effect to go off, which is solid. We have decent blockers. I mean, I really want them to just kind of like think about attacking this. I mean, I'm probably just as wide as them, but I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Then they have 5. Another white mana. Make a token. They rally the wings, though they untap everything, so that's the one downfall to that. We can +1 next turn, give all our elementals +2/+0. They're really thinking about it. They got 1 card they've just been sitting on. I don't know what it is. Pass. I mean, a part of me wants to like make sure something goes down. All right, they're going for an attack. They're not attacking the cats. Interesting. If I take a Sky Cat out, so if they +2/+0 and they rally, or +2/+2 and they rally, then what does that do for me? I mean, I'm not gonna double block because it'd kill both of these just to kill one of those. Though if they're gonna make a token in the process, so let's go here and here, because then it lowers their Sky Cats if they die. I mean, worst case scenario, I just play this, go wider. Yeah, they rally, so that's fine. They still die in that sense. Their Sky Cats now go down 2 because they lost. We'll play this. We will look at the top part of my library. Awesome. That's pretty solid, actually. That's fine. They now just got a top deck mode for the most part. They don't have enough mana to do anything there, so it's like no, I don't want to attack with that because I don't have enough mana. No, I'm gonna keep this because I'm gonna tap that. I mean, they may attack in now. Maybe make a token. Though this is now a good turn for us to go much wider than them. Unless they have another rally, which would be crazy luck. But it's possible. I mean, their deck does have things. I'm at 7. Wow. I just realized. Let's look at top card. If it's a shock, that'd be amazing. Nope. I didn't even realize what my damage was. I probably should have thought about that differently. Man. Ripped me, I guess. So coming back to the close in here about the deck, I mean, it is a budget deck, and I think some of the decks we did come against are a little bit stronger than maybe what this deck is in comparison for the value for the rare for what's in this deck. I mean, we did get stuck against two in the process of playing this. We did get stuck in between two cycling decks that are just overall very, very strong regardless. You know, Zenith Flare is just so good, especially if there's not much we can do to really slow our opponent down. The last game there, we just couldn't get wide enough, I guess, is the problem. And I think I maybe could have blocked a little differently. I knew they had a rally, but it was like I didn't know how to block in a way that was going to be effective to take out their things. So, I mean, it is what it is. I could have +2 all my elementals and swung in and try to see what they would do, which is a possibility. I think I probably hesitated and whiffed there, and they had the ability to just kind of make tokens, so it kind of didn't really help me just picking off their things one by one. But with that said, guys, I mean, this deck is pretty solid regardless. When it does work and we can kind of get our ramp up, you can see in a couple of games where it kind of goes into effect and we get a very wide board. And then, I mean, there's a couple of issues with the tap coming to play tap lands, but if you upgrade the deck and kind of get rid of those lands and get some lands that are dual color or even tricolor that kind of fix that thing, I would say that's probably your first bet to go for when it comes to upgrading this deck, and then maybe getting some other elementals in the deck. There's a lot of good elementals. They're just rares and stuff like that, or mythics. But overall, for the budget version of this deck, I think this deck is still pretty solid, especially if you're a new player and you're still getting used to the game. I mean, playing something tribal is always cool. I even think with the companion rule that we could put Ikoria in the deck just to give us something to do late game, regardless if we don't have anything to play. We do ramp up into a lot of mana, so Ikoria is a possibility even with the additional cost that we have to do in order to play our companion card. Given all our creatures vigilance and +1/+1 is just another solid card to have in the deck. So that's a possibility. But guys, let me know what you think about the deck down in the comments below. I also appreciate you guys for hanging around, watching the videos. I'm happy to say that we hit 250. I'll be making a video separately about that, so if you see this at the end of the video, there's a 250 like celebration kind of video coming out at some point, probably over the weekend. I'm not 100% sure. I just didn't want to double post the day this video comes out, so it'll probably be either Saturday or the typical Sunday day. If not, I will see you in the next video, and have